What is your favorite dead video game franchise? Command & Conquer, Red Alert. And a stellar soundtrack too. Dungeon Keeper. It is payday. Road Rash. The spiritual successor Road Redemption is a lot of fun. Monkey Island. Telltale brought it back and made a great 5-part series. They set up so much. That will never happen now. Agree 100%, what a series. And I'd also throw in the other Scum-based games too, Full Throttle, The Dig, Day of the Tentacle, etc. Burnout. I'm surprised I haven't seen it here yet. Genuinely the best car crashing game series ever made. Groundbreaking in so many ways. Then Criterion was acquired and essentially beaten to death by EA, until the original members defected and founded their own studio again. Looking forward to their follow-up to Burnout Paradise. They had so many ambitions for that game before EA put them on ice. Edit, patience, Burnout fans. Web link. I spent hundreds of hours playing Burnout 3, Revenge and NFS, Hot Pursuit 2010 back in the day. I'm glad NFS was remastered, but I'd love it if the other two got the same treatment or a true Burnout sequel. No more open-ended races, the return of Crash Mode. Sly Cooper. We need a proper 5th game to undo the misery that was Thieves in Time. Came to say this. Sly 2 remains one of my favorite games of all time, though I thoroughly enjoyed all 4 games in the series. And please God, should Sly 5 see the light of day, bring back Dimitri. Black and White. R.I.P. We've got this notion that we'd quite like to sail the ocean, so we're building a big boat to leave here for good. But we simply can't leave until we've got more wood. What a game the first one was. My friend used to play this until dawn. Around 3 a.m., he thought he heard someone whispering death. And shrugged it off, until it kept happening. He didn't know it was a part of the game. Even better if you used a normal name for your PC login, such as Paul. Every once in a while, instead of whispering death, it would whisper your name. Nothing like having the game whisper your name at 3 a.m. in a creepy fashion. I'm surprised no one picked up this franchise or even the same concept with nowadays VR technology. Seriously. They had you waving your mouse around in shapes to cast spells, practically screams for VR. Plus you could really mess with people in VR by whispering their name like the original Band W. Band W literally rewrote the rules for how game AI worked. The AI knew basically nothing when the game started, and learned to do things as the game went on. That just isn't a thing anymore. I was still pretty young when it came out, but I remember being amazed by how the creature learned and adapted and changed based on what you did. Was definitely groundbreaking for the time. Mine just craped on every villager in town. When I punished the creature for doing so, it became permanently constipated. The game didn't really teach you how to teach the pet. And because I was like 8, and English isn't my native tongue, I misunderstood a lot about how to train your pet. Pet eats villagers? Slap it within an inch of its life. Great, now it beats up the villagers before eating them. Pet craps on people? Chain it to a rock far away from my village. Come back 15 minutes later, pet is now jacked as F and refuses to poop. Heroes of Might and Magic. It is an ancient game. Turn-based, like a game of chess. A near infinite amount of replayability. One can get it on GOG Galaxy. In my honest opinion, it peaked at Home 3. Web link. Home 3 is what my username is about. Heroes 3 is still alive due to the fan-made expansion Horn of Abyss. This expansion is of very high quality. It adds new pirate-themed town called Cove, new campaigns, maps, and items on map, artifacts and some balance tweaks. The expansion is of very, very high quality, probably better than the Armageddon's Blade expansion. You also get a multiplayer mode with lobby. There is also HD mod that adds various quality of life improvements to the game and upgrades the graphics. Please note, the Horn of Abyss expansion, often abbreviated HOT A, works only with the GOG version of the game. It does not work with the bad version available in other shops, called Heroes 3 HD. What you want to get is your old Home 3 CD, or buy it from GOG, then you install Horn of Abyss and you install HD Mod, that improves graphics and adds quality of life. Enjoy! SimCity. It's sad that SimCity 4 is still the best one to this day, and there won't be another since Maxis is dead. Pretty sure Cities, Skylines is the canon SimCity 5. Crimson Skies. There are no two words that are cooler placed together than Sky Pirate. Those planes should have been added to Flight Simulator 2020. Silent Hill or Dead Space. Especially when you hear what the plan was going to be for Dead Space 4. A return to proper survival horror with you playing an Isaac traveling from world to world trying to stay alive in a galaxy with the brethren moons awake. This post is bumming me out now. Maybe it's a good thing that Dead Space 4 never materialized. As mentioned before, Dead Space 3 started pushing the series in a different direction, and as creative director Ben Wainett told Eurogamer, Visceral's planned Dead Space 4 would have taken things even further. Instead of a linear crawl through a single spacecraft, for example, Dead Space 4 would have been an open-world adventure in which Isaac, or whoever ended up starring, would travel between ships, leaving a trail of necromorph corpses in his wake. As players explored the derelict ships, they'd strip some for parts, would use those to fix up others, and would ultimately unravel Dead Space 4's plot by unlocking story data and opening up new exploration routes. The necromorph's origin story was going to play a big role, and there were going to be all kinds of new undead foes to dismember, too. Zero-gravity zombie fights? Oh yes indeed. Dead Space 4 would also have excised some of the ridiculously expensive one-off action moments, delivering a leaner and meaner survival horror experience. Dead Space 3 didn't make enough money to justify another high-budget sequel, and even while working on the sequel, the Visceral team suspected that it'd be the last one. Maybe that's for the best. An open-world space salvage game sounds amazing, but is it really what people expect from Dead Space? Maybe. Maybe not. Source: Looper. Dead Space 3 didn't make enough money. EA should have let Steam sell it. I had to buy a hard copy and it didn't work right, so I just ended up pirating it. Nothing good lasts forever. Be happy that we got not one but two amazing Dead Space games that are personally at the top of my scariest things list and most fun games of all times list. It's like playing Resident Evil as Iron Man. That would be so effing cool. I love eldritch horror. In my restless dreams, I see that game. Silent Hill. They promised me they'd take me there again someday. But Konami never did. I still remember when the whole internet was united in crapping their pants while playing PT. Even the usually stoic, sarcastic gamers like John Wolfe and Manly Badass Hero were scared to death. The hype and potential Silent Hills had, Hideo Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, and Junji Ito working together on a horror game? May as well have made it the greatest video game that never happened. Konami effing sucks. I will never buy a game of theirs again after what they did to that franchise. That genuinely looked like it was going to be the best survival horror game ever. I was about to buy a PlayStation just to play that game. Thank God I didn't. Remember when the playable teaser was released a few years back? Dead Space was straight up assassinated by EA. Forced unpopular mechanics into the game and shut the studio down when it underperformed. Uneffing forgivable. Max Payne. Came here to say this. Every Max Payne game is in my top 10 best games of all time. I agree that 3 had a totally different atmosphere, but it also had the most satisfying gunplay of any game I've played in my whole life. It's a shame Rockstar didn't carry over the highly polished shooting mechanics into GTA or RDR. Health sound in the game does so much. I bring up Max Payne 3 whenever possible. I periodically look for Max Payne news because that gunplay was incredible. I have no idea how this game doesn't get remastered or added to PlayStation Now or something. Mercenaries. If you have the chance to play Mercenaries 2, do it. It's absolutely favorite game of all time. They were working on a third but it got cancelled and the studio folded. Edit, damn. Thanks for gold and the upvotes. Glad I'm not alone when it comes to such a great game. Also, the first one deserves praise. Go play both. If you can. The wrong pandemic ended. Oh no, you didn't. Dude, I was so stoked when I saw the footage from Mercenaries 3 development. Then found out it was cancelled. One of my favorite details from the games is that each character can understand a second language, so depending on who you're playing as you get English subtitles when the faction leaders think they're talking amongst themselves. Matthias understands the Russians, Jacobs knows Korean, and Mui speaks Chinese. Jack and Daxter. Fun fact, the Last of Us team at Naughty Dog was originally going to be making a Jack and Daxter sequel but switched. I hope to see another Jack and Daxter game someday. Fun fact, Jack and Daxter, the precursor Legacy, was one of the first games to be able to complete start to finish without a single loading screen. After starting the game you can beat the whole game start to finish, if you don't die, without ever seeing a loading screen. Is Splinter Cell dead? There hasn't been a Splinter Cell game in what, 5 years? But hey, they just put Sam Fisher in our 6th Siege. It's definitely been a long time. No new Splinter Cell was ever released on Xbox One or PS4, so an entire generation without him now. Miss that iconic resound when you turn on your night vision goggles which the enemy could not see for reasons. 3 glowing green dots? Nothing to see here. I want to say that was so we could see him in the dark. Don't know anything about real NVs, but can you see them from the front? Maybe the glow on the face, but some I want to say would cup right to your face. It's been 7 years. Ubisoft keeps teasing it and putting Sam Fisher in other games. I presume they have a sequel in the works. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Nothing after 3 is canon. I've been corrected many times about the spelling of canon. I'm not changing it because I don't want to. Thanks for the awards, but please donate to a charity before giving a stranger internet points. Try Planet Coaster. Same team as RCT3. It seemed to be a better roller coaster creation game but a worse park management game than Roller Coaster Tycoon. Parkitect is the one you want for the more management side, very much a spiritual successor to RCT 1 and 2, less so 3. Spore. It deserved so much more but got shot down by Electronic Arts. 100% agree. Absolutely loved Spore. I actually bought it on disc when it came out. This franchise had so much potential. So disappointed that they didn't make another. Dark Spore doesn't count, totally different. Game was different than most. FYI, there is a project called by a small group of volunteer developers that is intended to become what Spore should have been. They really emphasize scientific accuracy, but they've only got the cell stage done for now and it's basically alpha level. My hope is that if they can get some attention, perhaps once they get to the multicellular or creature stage, that the project will get bought by a studio with the manpower to finish it in a reasonable time. Web link. Oh man, if they're really going for scientific accuracy then they're never going to get out of the microbial stage, laughing out loud. I've heard of this game, and you're not too far off. Thrive has pretty much been in the alpha phase of the cell stage, it's never coming out. Spore done today would be like No Man's Sky, except way better. Such a solid game. The only downside was the galaxy-level missions got really repetitive. Spore suffered from both overpromising, which Wright is rather known for, and meddling, both from within the team and without. Half the team didn't share the vision and Wright had to battle his own team to keep them from replacing all feet with shoes, an argument that nearly fractured them. I still miss the Spore that Wright kept showing off. If this is true, I want to throw up. Portal. I was so sad when I found that the plans for Portal 3 were cancelled. Edit. I stand corrected. I thought I had watched a few YouTube videos saying they just scrapped plans. A lot of replies mention a Portal or so. My theory is that it was either that and I did watch said videos or I completely dreamt all of it. Why? Damn it, Valve. Because the next one would be Portal 3 and we all know how Valve feels about that number. They're saving the 3s for Orange Box 2. TF3, Portal 3, HL3. Don't do that, don't give me hope. It will be VR only and will require a beefier computer than what I have. There's an introduction to a third Portal. Hurt my brain watching the trailer. Web link. Portal and Portal 2 were both amazing games. I'm still holding out hope that they will revive the franchise at some point. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.